Good morning, everybody, and welcome to IGB Affiliate London 2020. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we've got a great number of sessions. We hope that you can really get involved, share knowledge, network with each other. Please don't forget to be social and use the hashtag IGB Affiliate LDN. That would be great. Get involved and share. And to get us kicked off for the day, we will be having Paul Ngoie talking about how to perform an in-house SEO audit in 2020. Help me welcome to the stage, people. Thank you.
Cool, man. Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to talk about how to perform an in-house SEO in 2020. First of all, I'm going to start by talking about myself, so you have an idea why I'm qualified to be in front of you so I can present on the topic. So I've got an extensive background in the gaming industry, so I've worked for all those companies. Started my career back in 2005, working for Ladbrokes as a web developer. So my background in SEO stuff from a technical, then I moved into marketing, so which is always a good background to have when you're doing SEO. So officially in 2007, I started doing international SEO for Ladbrokes. I've worked for Sky Betting and Gaming. I was working for Bodog, and I've worked for company like Dafabet, Betway, EvoPlay, extensively throughout the world. I've traveled. I lived 5 years in Manila working for Dafabet. I used to work for Bodog in Montreal. And I think that's not really what we're here for. So we're going to talk about how do you do an SEO audit in 2020. So, 1 second. Moving forward, so why and when to do an SEO audit? So, SEO audit is extremely important. First of all, when do you need an audit? You need an audit when you're starting a new project, or you need to assess how your project is currently performing. Also, you simply want to understand where you are against your competitors. And an audit will give you a lot of answers to questions that you didn't have before. It will reveal a lot of crucial information. So I've put together 10 different steps, and we're going to go through them one by one. These steps would hopefully allow you to know what you need to do from the start to end, and no leaving out anything in terms of when you're performing an audit. So here's my 4 steps. So we look at the baseline assessments, keyword analysis, research, and selection. We talk about competitors. We look at the technical analysis. We look at on-page analysis. We look at content analysis, user experience analysis. We look at backlink analysis, and we look at how you track and report your whole campaign, and then how you prioritize based on all the information that you've put together in terms of how you're going to implement this as a strategy. So when you compile all this methodology together, you end up with a strategy that would actually help your SEO in terms of what you need to do now, what you need to do in a short, medium to long term, right? So let's start with baseline assessment. Baseline assessment is basically defining the objective of your campaign. Always make sure your campaign sort of align with the business objectives. Make sure you use the SMART principles. So you always have to ask yourself in terms of your objective, are they specific? Are they measurable? Can you attain them? Are they relevant? And also, are they timely? Another part of the baseline assessment is a stakeholder management. The best way to explain this is SEO is not a one person's job. As an SEO expert, you need to get the buy-in from your senior management. You also need to understand all the resources and capabilities that you have in-house. For example, your content team would also be your stakeholders because they will help you to write content. So one of the best ways to manage them is to make sure they get trained to understand how that fits in with how they write content. The other way could be your technical team. So you need to make sure you work very closely with your web developers so they understand the value of SEO and web development. So your senior management, they'll be the enabler of your projects. Your technical team, obviously they'll be building the websites. The copywriter content is extremely important from an SEO perspective. User experience team, without good user experience, you're not going to rank well. So you need to take all of that into consideration. Next thing, as part of your baseline assessment, you need to benchmark your metrics. So you will not be able to understand what you need to do and how you need to grow as a website, as an affiliate, or as a company without actually trying to understand where you currently are. So there are various number of questions that you need to ask yourself, and some of them are actually here. So the graph image that you see is from Google Data Studio. So basically, in terms of benchmarking, you need to have all the numbers with you so you can actually assess on how you're progressing moving forward. You need to assess your internal resources and capabilities. For example, if you're using a CMS, a lot of affiliates use WordPress. Do you have the right plugin embedded into your system? There might be some technical constraints that might not help your SEO. So look at that, understand any sort of tangible and intangible resources that you need. Intangible could be your relationships. Are you leveraging on backlinks that you could be getting that you know already having on your SEO? So you need to look at internal relationship, leveraging on all the assets. Some affiliates might have 100 or 200 websites. Are you interlinking those websites correctly? Are you producing the right content, etc.? Next one, keyword analysis. Keyword analysis get overlooked a lot of time, but it's still extremely important. So you need to make sure your keyword align with your objectives. Are you targeting the right keywords? The graph that I've put on the side, which shows the various sort of conversion stages. So when you do your keyword research, sometimes it's a very, very good idea to make sure your keyword actually aligns with the various stages. For example, you might have a keyword like football betting. If I'm trying to rank for football betting, that is an informational keyword. So I'm trying to get information as a user on a various betting platform. But if I'm searching, for example, bet on Manchester City versus Arsenal, I'm actually looking, that could be a sort of a purchase keyword or a conversion-related keyword. So make sure you map your keywords. The easiest way to do this is sometimes to actually download your entire website, looking at every single page on your website, make sure you map all the relevant keywords. This helps you in terms of writing content, in terms of how you align this and your keywords. So as you can see here, I've got the keyword intent. So these days, it's not just about how relevant the keyword is. You also need to understand the intent of the keyword in terms of your target users. The next thing is keyword opportunities. This is something that we do at Contrast, our agency. So you get your keywords, you understand which URL is ranking for which keywords, and also you understand the position of your keywords. This allows you to sort of differentiate on your top performance keywords, what are the quick win, and where you have a lot of gaps. We move next to competitors analysis. So in terms of competitors analysis, this is extremely useful and extremely powerful. This is when we're actually going back in terms of benchmarking yourself versus your competitors. This is another image from Google Sheets. So a lot of time what we do, we downloaded all the current ranking for your competitors and yours, and then you start sort of comparing, and then you can see where the gap actually lies. So you have a lot of good information in front of you that you can actually use and help you in terms of your strategy moving forward. Gap analysis, talking about competitors. This is exactly the same thing that we talked about. Then we move into technical analysis. A lot of people are actually familiar with this. So many people actually tend to do a technical SEO audit. What I'm actually talking about is not just about all the technical stuff. It's basically a holistic strategy that, as we started from keyword analysis, competitor analysis, now we move into the technical analysis. So you need to have all this data so you can actually come up with a strategy that you haven't missed out anything, and it gives you much better opportunity to be successful as far as your SEO strategy is concerned. Page level analysis. Again, go back to your websites. You will be surprised how many people would miss very, very, very crucial information about page title, meta description, on-page content. You can also assess the word count of your content. You compare, the aim is always try to do better than your competition. Content analysis, again, I've mentioned it. So unique and original content, useful, informative, write something that is really, really good so you can stand out from the competition. Check if there's any broken link. The whole idea is actually to make sure that you've covered everything that you need to cover and you haven't missed out anything. User experience. User experience, extremely important. So review your analytics data. It will give you some really good information in terms of how your website is performing and how is that related to your intended users. So metrics like bounce rates, how much time people spend on the site. Document that. The other way of doing this is actually through conversion tracking. So you can track like different buttons on your website, and then this gives you an idea of which area of your website people are much more interested in. And then you can kind of take this information, feed it back into your strategy, and then keep sort of refining and do this thing again. Backlink analysis. Backlinks have always been important, but it's not the way it used to be back in the old days. So it's not just about being relevant. We work with digital PR to generate backlinks. So be a lot more creative in terms of how you get links to your website. Find a topic that you can write about. Make it more interesting. Make people link back to you. A lot of users or potential other websites that can link to you, they love data and information. So things like statistics becomes extremely important. So link profiling. So there are a number of questions that you need to ask yourself. I'm sure you can read some of them. So what content is attracting your link? So that's when I talk about being creative and create content that actually attracts backlink back to your website. So what type of site? Make sure you also diversify your backlink profile. So don't just focusing on getting link from one type of websites, trying to make sure you're relevant within your niche, but also you can diversify from news links, from bloggers, from even conferences like how can you try to get an IGB affiliate conference to give your business a backlink? A lot of time, don't be scared to approach people as well, and then sort of make sure you get a link that you need. Tracking and reporting. I mentioned from the beginning, benchmark and tracking from the beginning of your project. It's extremely important, and constantly review your numbers. You can't be successful with your SEO if you're not constantly. It could be daily, checking your ranking, even bi-weekly, but you need to create a system and a process that actually works for you. So some of this you can actually automate your tracking. For example, you can automate a report for your keyword ranking. You can also automate a report for your technical SEO. So when you compile all this data together, it gives you a much more data that you can actually feed back into your strategy. Google Data Studio dashboard is extremely important for people actually using Google, because this actually helps you to consolidate all the different sources of information that you're actually using into one place. And also this allows you in terms of sharing the information with all your key stakeholders. In terms of prioritizing, so once you've done all the different areas that we've discussed, you need to put all this information together. So you need to identify the area of responsibility. What that means is you need to know, okay, throughout my audit, I've come up with, I need content. I need to fix my website. And who's going to do this? If I need to fix my website, when can this be done? Is it something very simple that can be fixed straight away? Or is it something that needs to be done in a long run? And then once you plan this, you also have data in terms of where you're currently ranking. So you'll be able to know, if I fix this from a technical perspective, that would have an impact in terms of my ranking in sort of quick wins into top performing keywords. So everything is very, very interconnected. And that is actually based on the Quadrant Roll-Out methodology. So you look at the higher impact, low difficulties versus higher difficulties. And the next thing is there are various number of helpful tools which would help. So all of this, I'm sure some of you are using this, but there's one tool that I wanted to introduce to quite a few of you, which a lot of people are not familiar with. Phrase.io is one of my favorite tools at the moment. This tool is it will be very useful for affiliates. Content is extremely important, but also very difficult to produce. So this tool is based on machine learning and artificial intelligence. So if you want to write about a specific topic, you put this in Phrase.io, then it analyzes the internet, and then come up with a content brief that allows you. It saves you time for doing all the research that you can put a copy together. And I think from affiliate, this is very, very useful in terms of producing more content. And finally, there's a free SEO Audit spreadsheet if you go to the URL from our company. So you can download that, and that would actually help you to with what we discussed today. And thank you, but I thought I would take a few questions. And also, there is an article on the same topic in the IGB magazine. And if anyone wants to discuss anything specific, please come and see me, and then we'll have a chat. Any questions? Thank you, guys. Go. Sorry, okay, fine. I'll wait. Come on, guys, one question. You look like you have a question.
Could you briefly line out from the tools you showed, what of those are like free to use or free to try out, and what just like you have to start with a monthly or yearly plan? Because you don't want to waste money in tools that I effectively don't use.
Exactly, yeah. So Ahref, for me, is extremely useful and very, very important because it gives you backlinks, it gives you ranking data, and you can find out anything against any competitors. There's another tool, Advanced Web Ranking. I've been using this for a very, very, very long time, and for me, it was the most reliable. But all these tools, they actually improve so much, and the lot of data that you would get is actually been useful. But it also depends on what you want. Do you want to understand your technical website, or you want to understand how you rank, or is there any specific thing that you would like to know in relation to any of the tools? You know?
Yeah, I'd like to know more in the area of how I rank.
Say that again?
I'd like to know more in the area of how I rank.
How you rank?
Yeah, so more like on the SERPs.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
Ahref would actually crawl other websites and then give you data, so which is not really in real-time data. But if you want to find out real-time data, so if you use like advanced web ranking, so you would download a set of keywords, you create a project, and then you put those keywords into the tool, and then you run a report. So this tool will crawl Google and actually tells you where you're currently ranking at that given time. You know, so yeah. Any other questions? No? Sorry? Systrix. Okay. Have you come across Systrix before? Okay. Systrix is great and amazing. So as an affiliate, you want to have historical data in terms of how your competitors are performing. Systrix, you can go back to 10 years. and it will give you, it will tell you, it will give you like a visibility index of your competitors. And it's actually very, very good. So as an SEO, for example, if you want to be successful, don't try to use one tool. Try to use a multiple tool. And when you analyze data from various sources, you actually understanding, and it gives you data that you can actually use as part of your strategy, and it's a lot more reliable, if that makes sense. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I hope you found it useful.